Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for participating in our state officer election process for 2022. We are incredibly grateful for all of your dedication and interest in electing next year's council. If you have not changed your name to follow the format of your school - your name, please do so now, since we will be using it to take attendance. If you need help changing your name, please let us know. And lastly, if you're not a designated voting delegate, please log off this call. We will be recording the session and you can view it after on our YouTube channel, but right now it's only for voting delegates. That being said, I'll pass it on to Valeria to introduce our first event.
Today we will have the opportunity to hear our candidates introduce themselves and answer fishbowl questions that will give you further insight into their capabilities as an officer. Be sure to pay extra attention to each officer's answers to make the most informed decision of your next council.
As a refresher into today's session, each of our candidates will give an introduction. Candidates, please state your name, school, what you're running for, and why you're running. There's no time limit for this, but we do ask you to keep it around 20 to 25 seconds.
And for this part, please raise your hand and pin Pratham for now and for the remaining of the session, since Pratham will be the one raising up time signals for your fishbowl questions. As Nim mentioned, there is no time limit right now, but as you get into those questions, there will be, and we don't want your responses to exceed 20 to 25 seconds. So as a reminder, your name, school, what you're running for, and why you're running in a quick sentence. First up, let's welcome Vyas Thar.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vyas Thar. I'm a sophomore at the Union County Academy for Allied Health Sciences, and I'm running to be your next president-elect so that together we can increase research-based initiatives, promote community-based partnership projects, and create interstate and international collaborations so that NJ HOSA can impact both our members and the communities that they are a part of to ultimately create a positive difference in health, wellness, and education. Thank you.
Thank you, Vyas, and welcome. Next, we have our other president-elect candidate, Monica Manescu.
Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Manescu. I'm currently a sophomore at the Union County Academy for Allied Health Sciences. I'm running to be your next president-elect, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm running for this position because HOSA has truly illuminated my potential, has made a difference in my life. And in the same way, I hope to make a difference in members' lives through expanding upon the learning aspect of HOSA through research opportunities, website expansion, as well as chapter development initiatives. And in my term, I hope to combine all our voices together so that together we could work towards creating the best HOSA possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Now moving on, we have our first Southern Regional Vice President candidate, Zaid El-Dahoudi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zaid El-Dahoudi, and I'm a junior attending the Mercer County Technical Schools Health Science Academy, and I'm running to be your next Southern Regional Vice President. The main reason I'm running is because over my term serving on the State Executive Council, I've had the absolute privilege of seeing just how creative and talented our membership is. And I want to help cultivate that resource to make next year the best year it could possibly be for NJ HOSA. Thank you.
Thank you, Zaid. And now to our second Southern Regional Vice President candidate, Kohav Dantra.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kohav Dantara. I'm from West Windsor Plainsboro High School North, and I'm running to be your next Southern Regional Vice President. I'm running for this position to be able to create a new focus for NJ HOSA, which is surrounding healthcare inequities and making HOSA as equitable as possible. This includes making resources more readily available and talking about the healthcare issues in our modern world. Thank you.
Thank you, Kohav. And to our final Southern Regional Vice President candidate, Bhavesh Mane.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bhavesh Mane. I'm a sophomore at the Middlesex County Academy for Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences, and I'm running for your Southern Regional Vice President. My main reason for running for SRVP is to give back to what HOSA has given to me, opportunity to express my own passion, and so I can facilitate a smooth, enjoyable transition from virtual to in-person and facilitate better communication and collaboration across both regions so that all of us can have the best HOSA experience that we all deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavesh. Now moving on to our Northern Regional Vice President candidates. First up, we have Neil Gupta.
Hi, everyone. My name is Neil Gupta. I'm a junior at Mountain Lakes High School, and I'm running to be your next Northern Regional Vice President. HOSA has helped me shatter my expectations, and I hope to help shatter your expectations next year as your Northern Regional Vice President. I hope to do this by hosting informational sessions from healthcare professionals to educate us on the disparities in the healthcare system, as well as help to include new membership in order to make HOSA a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Now next we have our other Northern Regional Vice President candidate, Kathleen Zhang.
Hi everyone, I'm Kathleen Zhang, a junior from Livingston High School, and I'm running to be your Northern Regional Vice President. My goal is to ensure everyone within and outside of HOSA can delve into their passions, no matter their background, from increasing free health science education to mentoring opportunities. Let's change the future with some Leviosa magic. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Kathleen. Now moving on to our secretary candidates. First up, we have Aditya Barnadaran.
My name is Aditya Barnitharan, and I'm from the Middlesex County Academy for Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences, and I'm running to be your 2022 to 2023 secretary so I can give back to the organization that's given me so much. I want to bridge the gap between the Executive Council and its members and facilitate cohesive communication, not between just fellow members, but other organizations.
Thank you, Aditya. And next we have our other secretary candidate, Prisha Oza.
Hello, everyone. My name is Prisha Oza. I'm a sophomore at West Windsor Plainsboro High School North, and I'm running to be your 2022 to 2023 state secretary. The reason I'm running to be your state secretary is just like last year, I'll say it again, but I believe that if everyone should have an equal access to an education, and if everyone should have an equal access to a quality healthcare, then everyone should have an equal access to learn more about healthcare.
Thank you, Prisha. Now moving on to our parliamentarian candidates. First up, we have Mohammed El Khayal.
Hi everyone, my name is Mohammed El Khayal and I am attending County Prep High School. I'm running to be your next NJ HOSA state parliamentarian. Throughout my experience, I have realized that great leaders not only lead, but serve their community. I hope to serve NJ HOSA and continue to spread the passion that has been shown by our members and state officers. Vote Mohammed for state parliamentarian to shatter your expectations through new growth.
Thank you, Mohammed. And next up, we have our other parliamentarian candidate, Brian Shee.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Shee, a sophomore from the Union County Academy for Allied Health Sciences in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, and I'm running to be your next New Jersey HOSA parliamentarian. My main purpose for running this year is so I can enrich the NJ HOSA experience through creative, hands-on learning opportunities. I hope to incorporate what I've been able to observe and open the doors for more members on the statewide level. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Moving on, we have our historian candidates, and first up, Ritika Subramanian.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ritika Subramanian, and I'm a junior at Morris County School of Technology, and I'm running to be your 2022-2023 state historian. I want to foster collaboration between chapters and spotlight all your activities through social media, newsletters, etc., so we can showcase our future healthcare professionals. Because at the end of the day, we are the next generation of healthcare, and I want to show the world how we are going to change and impact the field of medicine. After all, I have the will, the wits, and the way. All I need now from you is the win in order to create the future of NJ HOSA. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritika. Next, we have our other historian candidate, Deepa Subramanya.
Hey everyone, my name is Deepa Subramanya and I'm a junior at the Middlesex County Academy for Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences, and I am running to be your next HOSA state historian. I am running because I would like to magnify the impact that HOSA has on the individuals that are part of the organization, as well as facilitate more fluid communication between the members through newsletters and social media. I also aspire to implement more chapters, specifically in socioeconomically challenged districts, and engaging service projects to aid students in blossoming their healthcare journey.
Thank you, Deepa. And next we have our member-at-large candidates, first up with Diksha Chinta.
Hi, everyone. My name is Diksha Chinta, and I'm a junior from the Middlesex County Academy for Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences, and I'm running to be your next NJ HOSA member-at-large. As your member at large, I would make it my utmost duty to help you cultivate your love and passion for medicine by maintaining transparency and communications for all major state initiatives, because as the title suggests, you guys, the membership, are the largest and most important part of NJ HOSA. So don't settle for less than the best and vote Diksha to take care of the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Diksha. And secondly, we have our other member at large, candidate Asma Al-Hududi.
Hi everyone, I'm Esma Al-Hududi, attending Mercer County Technical Schools Health Science Academy, and I'm running to be your member at large. I'm running to be member at large because I want to give other NJ HOSA members the same joy and excitement that I had as an NJ HOSA member through making sure that your ideas are well expressed and brought to light, and overall creating an open and engaging environment for all HOSA members. Thank you.
Thank you, Asma. And finally, we have our third member at large candidate, Kayla Han.
Hello, New Jersey HOSA. My name is Kayla Han, a current sophomore at the Union County Vocational Technical Schools. As member at large, it is my primary goal to utilize my platform to raise mental health awareness and eliminate today's stigma surrounding mental health, ensuring that there is a supportive and open environment between the State Executive Council and members for those open conversations. As member at large, it is my goal to ensure that each member is comfortable and confident coming to the State Executive Council for expression of any of their struggles or needs, being confident that their voices will have immediate action and a resulting response from the State Executive Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla, and welcome to all the candidates as well as the voting delegates here tonight.
Thank you so much, Adaf, and thank you so much to the candidates for introducing themselves. Now on to the position-specific fishbowl questions. So for the voting delegates, in this portion, each position will have the same question, but each candidate will answer within 45 seconds without previous knowledge of the question. This will be accomplished by placing the other candidates running for the same position in a breakout room. Time will be kept by Pratham, and Pratham will give you a 15-second warning and a sign to let you know that you only have 15 seconds left, after which at 45 seconds, when your time has run out, he will speak up saying that your time has run out. We will also be going in the reverse order of introductions. These measures ensure fair chances for each and every candidate that we have running today. Now, please place your attention, candidates, to the instructions in the chat that Shani has placed. So make sure that you're renaming yourself if you're a voting delegate, not a candidate, I'm sorry, and have that information ready to go. And the candidates running, you'll be placed in a breakout room shortly. If you're not placed in a breakout room, that means you'll be going first. So I'm just going to give it 1 second to make sure the breakout rooms are ready to go. If Shawnee or Dave, one of you could give me a thumbs up saying those rooms are ready to go, I will pass it over to Valeria.
Yep, we're ready.
Sounds good. Valeria, take it away.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Sid. We will now begin with the member at large candidate question. Our first candidate up is Kayla Han. Just to confirm that the other two candidates are in the breakout room, would Shawnee or Dave please let me know? Just again to confirm.
Yep, they should be in the breakout room.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I don't see Kayla. Oh, Kayla's the only one staying here. Yeah, we're good.
Kayla, could you please, and this goes for the candidates going forward, please raise your hand so you come to the top of our screens. I mentioned at the beginning, but it might have gotten lost, but please keep your hands up. Perfect. Thank you so much, Kayla.
All right, thank you, Kayla. Your question is, one of the greatest responsibilities of the member at large position is to forge a candid, engaging connection between New Jersey HOSA members and the Executive Council. What ideas do you have to foster this connection?
One of my ideas to increase communication and engagement between the State Executive Council and members include personally hosting monthly meetings for local chapter members to attend. I want to make sure that every single member's voices are heard and feel confident knowing that their ideas will have immediate response and reaction from the State Executive Council. In addition to these monthly meetings, which I will facilitate as member at large with New Jersey HOSA, I also aim to increase engagement through social media platforms such as Remind and Slack. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kayla. Our next candidate is Asma El-Hadoudi. Asma, if you could please raise your hand, just so you can be at the top of the screen.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Give it like
No
10
worries.
seconds. Sorry.
Alrighty, no worries.
In the meanwhile, I'll just
All right, Asma, your question is, one of the greatest responsibilities of the member-at-large position is to forge a candid, engaging connection between New Jersey HOSA members and the Executive Council. What ideas do you have to foster this connection?
I think that creating an open and engaging environment for all HOSA members is one of the key things that a member at large should be doing. And as far as my ideas for doing this, I would like to create a Discord for HOSA to have another platform for HOSA members to communicate and facilitate ideas, and also making state officers readily available for all HOSA members to have access to us all the time, so that we can create an open and engaging environment for all, regardless of race, gender, or ethnicity. And I think that doing this will ensure an open and fun environment for all HOSA members, and ensure a great year for HOSA overall. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asma. Our final candidate is Diksha. If you could please raise your hand.
You may.
All right, Diksha. Your question is, one of the greatest responsibilities of the member-at-large position is to forge a candid, engaging connection between New Jersey HOSA members and the Executive Council. What ideas do you have to foster this connection?
Well, of course, I think communication is the biggest responsibility of a member at large. So I would work to create communications by creating a group chat such as Discord, where you can place all types of resources for events and have public forums where anyone can ask any type of HOSA-related questions or event-related questions, so that anyone's concerns are brought to attention immediately. And I think Discord is also really cool because it also allows the candidates to join voice chats, which allows them to directly interact with other candidates, interact with other members, which means that even if it is ever virtual again, they'll be able to foster the same level of communication that's offered by in-person conferences.
Thank you, Diksha.
Thank you so much, Diksha, and thank you to all the member-at-large candidates for these inspiring and thorough answers. I will now hand it off to Soham to introduce the historian candidates.
All right, thank you to all the candidates so far for your great answers. We'll now be moving on to the historian candidates. So first we'll start with Deepa. So Deepa, if you're in the main room, could you raise your hand so you could come to the front of our screens? All right, thank you. So your question is, Albert Einstein once said, creativity is intelligence and having fun. How do you plan on using creativity to capture the memories created during your term?
I plan on using creativity to capture the memories during my term through taking photographs, having quotes from the members of New Jersey HOSA, documenting all the special events and programs that will occur, especially as we're moving from a virtual and digital environment to in-person conferences. We're going to be experiencing so many new things together. So by documenting all of that, I think that history is in the making right now. So by capturing all of that in newsletters and social media, I plan to implement creativity. And also through graphic design, I really enjoy graphic design. So by implementing more graphic design and creative aspects to our social media platforms and newsletters, and bringing members together through those avenues.
All right, thank you, Deepa, for that answer. Next, we have Hritika. So I think Deepa, you're supposed to go back into the breakout room. All right. I think Hritika's joining. Okay, Hritika, if you could raise your hand so you could come to the front of our screen. All right, thank you. So your question is, Albert Einstein once said, creativity is intelligence and having fun. How do you plan on using creativity to capture the memories created during your term?
I want to use creativity to basically capture the nature of HOSA. So when I'm not going to tell them to like pose or anything, but because like members of HOSA naturally have fun, and when they're talking to members, take pictures of that, and then like you create little memories and create mini photo collages occasionally. Use that to create polls, add them as backgrounds. So when people go look on the HOSA polls, they can see themselves, because HOSA is about you guys. And I would love to basically just show off the beauty of HOSA. And I feel like the amount of creativity there is enough for the material.
All right, thank you for your answer. And once again, thank you to both candidates. I'm gonna hand it off to Nimrod now.
Thank you, Soham, and both candidates. At this time, if Brian, if you're in it, you can just raise your hand, please. And Brian, are you here?
It might take him a second.
Okay, so we'll just wait, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hello, Brian. Your question is, according to Robert's Rules of Order, one of the roles of a parliamentarian is to ensure impartiality during meetings. How will you apply this to the general NJ HOSA membership?
So yeah, definitely that's a really important part that I think should be applied to as a parliamentarian. And really through that, I feel like the best way to do so is to get the opinions of the members directly through surveys that are sent out. And through these surveys, we can really get feedback from the membership or from any kind of workshops or any events that we hold. Another way that I feel like would be a great way to kind of express this duty is to really have like members interact with each other as well. Personally, I found that interactions with upperclassmen and other experienced HOSA members has like really helped me define who I am and really find my way too. So yeah, that's basically how I think I would best ensure equity among the general members. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your answer. At this point, if you could just go back to the breakout room while we have the other candidate come in.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, Mohammed, if you're in and you could just raise your hand, please.
Yeah, just give me a second. I press on reactions, right? Yep, okay.
Yes, okay. And it's recording just to verify, correct? Yes, okay. So your question is, according to Robert's Rules of Order, one of the roles of a parliamentarian is to ensure impartiality during meetings. How will you apply this to the general NJ HOSA membership?
So I would apply this by being impartial to everyone. I'm a very good listener. I like to, take in everything. One thing that my friends say about me is I listen. So I think an important thing is to listen to your members and be able to decide from then and, give advice to the president and let them know what to do next. So I'd be impartial in not being biased anyway, but yeah.
Thank you so much. I will hand it off to Sid now.
Thank you so much, Nim, and great job to the candidates that just presented. Just waiting for you to go back to your breakout room, Mohammed, and then we'll get started with our next set of candidates for secretary.
I'm sorry, but if I press leave, it says leave meeting. Did I press on that?
Try and perfect. So your question, Prisha, is the secretary is responsible for the meeting minutes, but that is not all. Apart from your basic responsibilities, what else do you hope to write into NJ HOSA's future?
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that? My Wi-Fi totally lagged out. Are you allowed to repeat it or like, should I just...
Yeah, just if it's tech issues, we understand. The secretary is responsible for the meeting minutes, but that is not all. Apart from your basic responsibilities, what else do you hope to write into NJ HOSA's future?
Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Prisha Oza, and to answer this question, I have to say that being a secretary, learning at least through my experience this year, it's definitely not about just minutes and just writing minutes to keep record of what's going on in meetings. I think participation in meetings is just as important, and even starting to work with your committee is even more important. Just having that dedication to helping others on the council is very important to do that team building, as well as definitely reaching out, recruiting more members, and even engaging other people throughout the whole process. So as a leader, I say that it's important to be an all-rounded person, as well as develop yourself and NJ HOSA as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prisha. You can join your breakout room now and ask for the next candidate, Aditya Parneetharan, to enter. Okay. I think Prisha has left, but she's still appearing frozen on my screen. Okay, there you go. She's gone now. Hi, Aditya. Your question is, sorry, my computer glitched for a second. The secretary is responsible for the meeting minutes, but that is not all. Apart from your basic responsibilities, what else do you hope to write into NJ HOSA's future?
My entire goal is to make HOSA a force of good for the community, and the way we can do this is by integrating council. Every single person on council is their own person with their own thoughts, their own ideas, and their own perspective. And perspective is huge. If I could bring together everyone's perspective and channel into one goal, one cohesive future for NJ HOSA, that will make NJ HOSA a better place for the community and a better place to be tomorrow. And that is my overall goal, bringing back to the community by bridging HOSA together.
Thank you so much, Aditya. You can join your breakout room now and ask our Northern Regional Vice President candidate, Kathleen, to enter.
Thank you.
Welcome. I'll now hand it over to your current Northern Regional Vice President, Corey, to lead the questioning there. Corey, over to you.
Yep, great job to all of the candidates so far, and thanks, Sid. And we're just going to give Kathleen a moment. Oh, great. Kathleen, your question is, as we emerge from the pandemic, the importance of communication, especially between local chapters, has been highlighted. As the leader of the Northern region, how do you plan on fostering this communication so that our chapters can ease back into the normalcy of an in-person HOSA experience?
The first thing I want to do is ensure that I have everyone's contact information, every chapter's contact information as well, because I believe that the members have the power at all, and I want to ensure that everyone has a magical experience within HOSA. Besides working on directly emailing and messaging different chapters with updates, I also hope to create a HOSA Discord within the Northern region where members can have fun and interact with each other through gaming, studying, listening to music, and just networking with each other beyond healthcare, because I feel the connections within HOSA are so much more than just the studying. So let's change the future of HOSA together with a little bit of Lovey HOSA magic. Thank you.
Thank you for your response, Kathleen. You may go back into the breakout room, and if we could have Neil, the next Northern Regional Vice President, come in from the breakout room. Thank you, Neil. Here is your question. As we emerge from the pandemic, the importance of communication, especially between local chapters, has been highlighted. As the leader of the Northern region, how do you plan on fostering this communication so that our chapters can ease back into the normalcy of an in-person HOSA experience?
To me, HOSA is a very inclusive and social organization, and that's one of the key factors of HOSA. And like you said, transitioning from this idea of COVID to in-person is very important. As Northern Regional Vice President, what I would do is I would establish new socials like we have before, as well as more interactive meetings. So that way HOSA members can make up for the lost time. With these interactive meetings, these HOSA members can learn each other's names, they can learn about each other. And then when we transition to an in-person state conference, all of us will feel like we're connected yet again.
Thank you for your response, Neil. You may head back into the breakout room, and I will hand it off to Pratham for our next candidates.
Thank you, Corey. So now we're going to be moving on to the Southern Regional Vice President candidates. Hello, Bhavesh. If you could please raise your hand so that we can ask you the question. Just keep in mind for this time, because I will be asking the question, Sid will be timing you. So if you could pin Sid instead. That'd be great. I'll give you a second to do that. Let me know once you're good.
Yep, good.
All right, perfect. So your question is, both the Northern and Southern Regional Vice Presidents work closely throughout their term and coordinate on most assignments. What do you think is the best way to establish a successful partnership and keep a healthy bond between you and the other Vice President?
So right now I'm the underclassman rep for my school, and that's also a partner position. So I know what it means to be a team of work, right? So the number one thing that me and my partner both established is just being honest with one another, having goals that we can talk about, having fun together at the same time, being able to communicate with what we want and what we can do. You got to be realistic. We have to make sure that we can both get the goals for everyone while at the same time getting what we want to see throughout the entire chapter. Just being honest and being able to be communicate efficiently is the best thing. Being able to show your passion, just be yourself. Really, that's one of the main things I preach, and one of the best things that I think can come to a teamwork position like SRVP. So thank you.
Thank you, Bhavesh. If you could please return back to the breakout room, and we will wait for the next candidate. Hello, Kohab. If you could please raise your hand so that everyone can see what's in front of the screen. Because I'll be reading the question, Sid will be timing you. So if you could please pin Sid, I'll give you a second to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me know once you do that.
I pinned it.
All right. So your question is, both the Northern and Southern Regional Vice Presidents work closely throughout their term and coordinate on most assignments. What do you think is the best way to establish a successful partnership and keep a healthy bond between you and the other Vice President?
Yeah, so I think that the Northern Regional Vice President and Southern Regional Vice President both have their own individual responsibilities when it comes to the different regions that they have. I think that the Northern region would have their own organizations that they would be closely affiliated with, and the Southern region would be able to have their organizations that they're closely affiliated with. When it comes to establishing that relationship, though, I think that there's a lot of similarities in the ways that they can interact with these organizations. For example, if you have the Northern Region Red Cross and the Southern Region Red Cross, I know that they're bound together with the state council with Red Cross, but when you're comparing those two organizations together, you can see that there's a lot of similarities. And I think that when they are interacting with these different organizations, they would be able to work together to be able to establish these connections. And that would be better for NJ HOSA as a whole.
Thank you, Kohab.
Thank you, Kohab. If you could return back to the breakout room, and we will wait for the next candidate. Hi, Zaid. If you could please raise your hand so you're brought to the front of the screen. Also, I won't be giving you your time signal this time. It will be Sid. So if you could please pin him and let me know once you've done that, then I will read your question to you.
Sid, can you actually raise your hand? Because it's difficult for me to pin you.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to do that right now. Am I at the top of your screen now?
Perfect.
All right. Zaid, here's your question. Both the Northern and Southern Regional Vice Presidents work closely throughout their term and coordinate on most assignments. What do you think is the best way to establish a successful partnership and keep a healthy bond between you and the other Vice Presidents?
I think the most effective way of creating a partnership between both the Northern and Southern regions is creating a friendship between both vice presidents. The truth of the matter is that it's a 8-person state officer team, not a 1-person state officer team. So it's an important skill for any state officer, but especially as a regional VP, to be able to coordinate with people and create cordial relations in order to best serve the team. In terms of actual making friends with them, I would try to become friends with them, look at their interests, recognize their leadership style, and recognize where they are in terms of strengths that it can best be allocated towards the team. And recognize everyone's strengths is a skill I would like to take on if elected to serve as your Southern Regional Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you, Zaid. If you could now return back to the breakout room, I will now be passing over to Adolf.
Thank you, Pratham. And now on to our president-elect candidates. First up, we have Monica Manescu. I'm just going to wait for her to join. Okay. Monica, can you please raise your hand? Okay, great. So Monica, your question is, imagine for the next 45 seconds, your voice could be heard by every single member of New Jersey HOSA. What would you say?
What I would tell members is that HOSA is such an amazing thing to be part of, and I applaud you for taking the initiative to compete, to lead members. But most importantly, I want to give you some advice. No matter what you do, trust the process. Failure is not the end. Use it as an inspiration. In the same way, like the first year I competed in HOSA, I didn't place, but then I came back next year, even stronger. I learned from my mistakes and I placed again. And I think that's really important, using failure as a tool to further better yourself as a person and a leader, always. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Now if you could just return to the breakout room. Okay, and our next president-elect candidate is Vyas Dar. Can you please raise your hand? Okay, so your question is, imagine for the next 45 seconds, your voice could be heard by every single member of New Jersey HOSA. What would you say?
So I would begin by describing HOSA as the home of its 4 core values: learning, leadership, service, and innovation. As president-elect, I will make it my utmost priority to make sure everyone's voice is heard, and I will try my best to increase our members' participation through creating new pathways for members to participate in the innovation and research process. I will facilitate access to open educational resources so that members are able to partake in the knowledge production process for themselves, to prepare themselves for college and careers as future health professionals. Thank you.
Thank you, Vyas, and thank you to all the candidates as well as the voting delegates. And this wraps up our position-specific candidate speeches.
We'll give all the candidates a second to come back into. Perfect. Okay, so this next section will be a completely random fishbowl portion, separate from each individual's position, and candidates have already been randomly assigned their question numbers in the breakout room at the start of the voting delegate session. So we are ready to begin. So first, we will welcome the member-at-large candidates. Following this order, we'll begin with Diksha Chintha. Diksha, can you please just raise your hand so you're at the top of our screen? Perfect. Diksha selected question number 7. The question reads, if you had a HOSA magic wand and could make one immediate change, what would it be?
If I had a HOSA wand, my immediate change would be to make conferences in person once again, because I think that the online conferences were something that everyone was not expecting, and we definitely missed that element of in-person interaction. So I think if we could ensure that conferences stay in person, that is something I would use the magic wand for.
Thank you, Diksha. The next candidate is Asma. I'm going to wait until you can raise your hand. Okay, Asma, are you able to come on camera? Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No worries. Asma, your question is, what is one special trait, hobby, or sport that you feel has helped you become the person you are today?
I think that one hobby that I had that has made an impact on who I am today is being able to memorize things. I think that, through my medical terminology competition that I competed in with HOSA, being able to memorize things helped me, compete in my event. And I think that that will help me, if elected member at large, because I will be able to foster communications from the state office through HOSA members, through remembering what people tell me about the HOSA as a whole. So I think that if elected member at large in my term. Thank you.
Thank you. As a reminder, we have 20 seconds for these questions. Can someone who is our next candidate, which is Kayla, can you please raise your hand?
It's
And
actually
Ashley,
30 seconds, Sid.
are we
Right?
keeping 30?
Gotham? What are you doing time-wise?
I believe it's 30.
Yeah, we have it as
Oh, sorry, I misspoke. My bad.
You're good.
30 seconds. Asma, do you mind just putting your hand down so there aren't two people with their hand up on the screen? Perfect. Kayla chose question number 13, which reads, Thomas Jefferson once said, in matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. How does this quote resonate with who you are?
As a student athlete, I'm constantly on the field, need to be adaptable to what's going on. So swimming with the current, communicating with my teammates is extremely important to not only communicating well and performing well, but also building that relationship and trust with your teammates. Also, when it comes to outside of the field, acting on your principles is something that contributes to your overall character. And for me, carrying your values with you in everyday life is something integral to me and how I present myself to the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. Now we'll go on to our historian candidates. We'll begin with Ritika Subramanian. Ritika, could you please raise your hand? Kayla, could you please put down your hand just to, perfect. Ritika chose question number 12, which reads, Charles Darwin once said, it is not the strongest species who survives, nor the intelligent, but the most responsive to change. Tell us about a time you've had to adapt and overcome a challenge.
One challenge I had to overcome was in 8th grade. I was put in a completely new group of students for my classes, and all of them, they were much more intelligent than me and more head smart and book smart. So I had to work really hard and I had to change my mindset and be more open to more ideas and not take what they said, even if they say, oh, you're dumb, you're not. I knew I'm not dumb and I adapted to my changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritika. Next, we have Deepa Subramanya. Deepa, could you raise your hand? Ritika, if you could put yours down. Just a notification to all candidates. Once you're done, just put your hands down so it's easier. Deepa chose question 6, and it goes, John Quincy Adams once said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. How do you plan on inspiring and empowering the membership body of HOSA throughout your term if elected?
So something that I want to lead by is the saying, to do the greatest good for the greatest number of people. And as mentioned in the quote, even your actions can exemplify that. As a leader, I want to learn from the membership while also implementing what I know and what I've learned through my own experiences to provide for the membership and to teach them that life is not always going to be a straight line. And whenever we overcome challenges, we'll do it together and we'll do it faithfully and in communion.
Thank you so much, Deepa. Next up, we have our parliamentarian candidates. First is Mohammed El-Khail. Mohammed chose question number 3. The question reads, and Mohammed, can you please put your hand up just so you're at the top of our screen before I read your question? Perfect. The question reads, you need to create a new committee for the next HOSA year. What committee would you create and why?
I'd create a committee to increase communication. I feel like a lot of the times the members, especially myself as a member, I don't really know what's going on. So a committee to increase the communication between members and the board, I feel like that would be really great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Next, we have Brian. Brian, could you please raise your hand? Mohammed, if you could put your hand down, that would be awesome. Thank you. Brian chose question 5, which reads, if you could be a fly on the wall for any part of NJ HOSA's history, past or present, which would you choose and why?
I think I would be, I would live out the moment where NJ HOSA, or actually no, HOSA in general, had their first International Leadership Conference. Because through my study of like HOSA history, that was really a big milestone and a really big development for HOSA itself. And I feel like I would want to experience that and really bring in my thought process and ideas as HOSA as a starting kind of organization. And I feel like that will really like give me the experience and really like the insight into what HOSA was and what it will be now. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Now onto our secretary candidates. Brian, you can put your hand down. First up, we have Prisha. Prisha, can you please raise your hand? Perfect. Prisha chose question 9. Question 9 reads, sorry, my computer is glitching. What reputation would you like to have as a state officer, and how does that differ from who you are in your personal life?
So I think for my reputation, I would want to be exactly the same person. I think from what I've noticed from others' perspectives is that I come across as a very fun person, engaging person. I want to continue that because being a leader is all about communication. And that's something that is very essential to improving NJ HOSA for the better, as well as my own personal development. Thank you.
Thank you, Prisha. Next, we have Aditya Bharnidharan. Aditya, could you please raise your hand? Perfect. Aditya chose question 1, which reads, Blake Shelton asks us through his song, Why Me? I ask you today, why you?
And that's a really good question because I feel like every candidate has something about them. And I want to say about me, I care about NJ HOSA. It's given so much to me, and I want to give an equal amount to NJ HOSA. But more than that, I want to give back to the community in such a way that it benefits members through volunteer opportunities, shadowing opportunities, and research opportunities, but also makes the world in which NJ HOSA inhabits a better place to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Now on to our Southern Regional Vice President candidates. First up, Zed. Zed, could you please raise your hand? Cool.
Sorry.
You're good. Zaid chose question 2, which reads, Maya Angelou once said, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. How will you apply this to your term if elected?
I think one of the biggest skills of a state officer is being able to learn from his mistakes. I think nobody's perfect, and especially in this period of our lives when we're learning and we're growing our skills, I think being able to go through with an action and then being able to reflect on it and learn from it, I think that's one of the biggest skills a state officer can have in their term. And this is something I would like to take into my term if elected to serve as your NJ HOSA Southern Regional Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you, Zaid. Next, we have Kohab. Kohab, could you please raise your hand? Perfect. Zaid, could you put down your hand? Awesome. Kohab chose question 4, which reads, leadership looks different for all sorts of people. How would you define your leadership style?
I think that, from a very young age, leadership to me meant making the change that was necessary no matter what situation I'm in. Being a part of NJ HOSA, my leadership would look like a change maker. Something that I've been really passionate about and including in NJ HOSA is the new face of NJ HOSA, which would include addressing healthcare inequities and healthcare in our modern day world. If I'm elected to the position of Southern Regional Vice President, my leadership would look in the image of trying to be able to change this by implementing this new vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Kohab. Next up, we have Bhavesh. Bhavesh, could you please raise your hand? Perfect. Bhavesh chose question 11. It goes, in the recent Batman movie, Catwoman asks Batman, who are you under there? What are you hiding? Who are you under your HOSA suit?
I'm just like everyone else. I'm a kid that attends high school and that enjoys playing sports, that enjoys watching movies, that enjoys hanging out with friends. And I think that's something that I can bring to the state council, being connectable, being interpersonable, being able to communicate with everyone on the membership, just being able to be me, just someone who loves to have fun, who loves to hang out, who loves to do what I love to do, like dance, read, everything I can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavesh. Next, on to our Northern Regional Vice President candidates. First up, we have Neil. Thank you for raising your hand, Neil. Your question, because you chose 16, was, you just got the opportunity to create a new position on the NJ HOSA State Executive Council. Congratulations. What position would you create and why?
The position that I would create would be a communications officer. Because as we said before, with COVID, we felt disconnected, feeling online, seeing Zoom to Zoom. With a communications officer, we can really connect with the membership and help the membership as a whole talk with each other. So that way, when we transition to in-person, we all feel like HOSA members and we all able to interact and really truly experience what HOSA should be like for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Next, we have Kathleen Zhang. Kathleen chose question 18. Question 18 reads, between Tiger King and Inventing Anna, documentaries have always been really popular on Netflix. If there was to be a documentary about HOSA and they interviewed you about it, what would you say?
I would say, if I was in a documentary about HOSA, is just how amazing the people and individuals within HOSA are and the opportunities that it has to grow. Within HOSA, we have the opportunity to interact with people we would have never met, and the opportunities are endless. As your HOSA Northern Regional President, I would ensure that you have amazing opportunities, whether it be shadowing or actually interacting with healthcare professionals. Together, let's ensure that all of us have a magical experience within HOSA. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Now on to our president-elect candidates. First up, Vyas Thar. Vyas, could you raise your hand? And Kathleen, if you don't mind, could you put yours down? Thank you. Vyas chose question 15, which reads, as we hope to put the pandemic behind us and forge our futures ahead, where do you see our future headed?
I see our future rooted in community-based partnership projects across the state in which members can interact with their communities to create a bigger difference and become more involved in their communities. And overall, this will help to ensure that equitable healthcare and diverse healthcare opportunities are applicable to all of our amazing and incredible NJ Host members across the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Vyas. Next up and last fishbowl of the day, Monica. Monica chose question 17, which reads, you have just been elected to the HOSA Hall of Fame. Congratulations. What was the achievement that got you there?
I feel that the achievement that got me there to the HOSA Hall of Fame is learning 4 different languages. When I had to move internationally around a lot, and this experience of having to adapt to new environments and having to learn new languages has shaped me into a very adaptable person, and this adaptability and passion for learning I hope to bring to the council as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica. Congratulations to all the candidates to finishing your fishbowl questions. I'm sure it was a nerve-wracking process, but rewarding at the same time. Awesome.
Amazing job, everyone. I have to say, you guys did great. The introductory portion of this session is now over. After viewing the videos and flyers of the candidates, I'm sure each of you have questions for certain candidates. We are going to give you all 5 minutes to chat any questions publicly, and the candidate can chat it back. So please, if you have any questions as voting delegates, enter them into the chat at this time.
And just letting everyone know, those questions should be in the chat only, and candidates, please respond back in the chat only, just to make sure things are effective and quick.